Welcome to Street Sense, where I share with you uncommon wisdom tips to help you succeed in your finances, career, business, and relationships. My name is Maxwell Mensah. You can call me Talent Man. Today I'm sharing with you 7 movies that would definitely transform your mind. 7 movies that would definitely transform your mind. But before I get into it, kindly subscribe to my channel if you're yet to subscribe. Like this video, leave a comment for me, and share my videos to your friends and loved ones so they can also come and learn from my channel. So let's get into it. 7 movies that would definitely transform your mind. I am someone who loves movies, even though I'm unable to make time to watch too many movies as I wish I would. I love movies, and that is because I'm also a scriptwriter. I direct plays, and I also act. So I know when I see very good movies, I'm able to detect very good movies. And I sometimes do my best to make sure that I don't just watch movies at random. I watch movies that I can learn from. So sometimes just by the title or by the brief description, you can tell if this will be a very nice movie or not, whether you can learn from it or not. And then over the period, there are movies that I have watched that I have learned so much from. There are some that I have watched more than 15 times, 20 times. Some, I can't even count the number of times I've watched them. That is because they are very good movies that anytime I watch, I learn so much from. So I'm going to share with us 7 of these movies that you can also learn from in case you haven't watched yet. But there are some that I'm sure you have watched. So if you've watched it and you didn't learn anything from it, or it didn't transform your mind in any way, just go back, look for those movies and watch them again. And I can bet you will learn important stuff from these movies that can transform your mind and help you advance in your life. So the first movie that I want to talk about is 3 Idiots. 3 Idiots. Charlie, if you have watched 3 Idiots and you didn't learn anything significant from 3 Idiots, and you're also the same, then how did you watch the movie? Because 3 Idiots is a movie that by the time you watch even up to 15 minutes, there is so much you can learn. And I believe that Amir Khan, is doing very wonderful movies, and then he has to be commended because 2 of his movies that I think have so far that have made it to this list. So the first is 3 Idiots. Then the second movie, which I'm here to get to, is also by Amir Khan. It's titled Like Stars on Earth. These are 2 quality movies that teach a lot, that we have to learn as people. Enough of all the movies that are just about kissing, or drugs, shooting here and there, killings here and there. Look, these 2 movies by Amir Khan, Like Stars on Earth, 3 Idiots, are very wonderful movies. So you realize that in 3 Idiots, Rancho and his 2 friends, they really teach us a lot of lessons about life, the essence of pursuing your true calling in life, and that is what 3 Idiots really covered. When you hear it, when you see the title, you may think that it is just some funny movie, but then beyond it being funny, it teaches a lot. You can see how Rancho went through school. He went through school not because his parents had the money to take care of him, but because he was just passionate about engineering. He wanted to be an engineer. He was just passionate about anything that has to do with electronics and all these gadgets. And then, so whilst he found himself in engineering school, he was there, even though it was by accident, because it was circumstance that brought him there, not because he really had to be there. Circumstance brought him there. He was really happy to be there. But then his 2 other friends, even though they also wanted to be there, one of them wanted to really be there, but then because of family pressures and family struggles and family demands, he was unable to really fully live out his best periods while as an engineering student. And then the final friend Faru, you can see that for him, he didn't have any love for engineering at all, but then it was his parents, especially his dad, who forced him to go into engineering because per their tradition, once he was a boy who was born, he had to go into engineering. It was like compulsory for him. He had no other way. He had no other option than to go into engineering. So he ended up there, and then he was a mess until Rancho helped him to now go out there and become a photographer as he wanted to be, and he became a successful one. Even if he didn't become a millionaire, he still became a successful photographer. So from 3 Idiots, we learn actually everyone has an area that we are called to be in. That when we find ourselves in that place, we will function. We will function in an area of strength. We will love what we are doing, and no matter what happens, you are going to love the career you're going into. So that's 3 Idiots for you. If you haven't watched it yet, or if you watch and you didn't learn anything, go back and watch it and you will learn so much. The other movie by Amir Khan, Like Stars on Earth, you see when the little boy was struggling in school just because of the kind of teachers who were teaching him, who couldn't really understand his unique abilities and how to teach him for him to understand beyond having the mass teaching that you teach a whole class. When Amir Khan came into the school and he became the boys' teacher, you see how he was able to help him to become, I think by the time he left that particular year, by the time that year ended, that boy became the best student in the whole school because of his ability to draw. So the boy was not meant to excel in academics, but he was meant to excel in arts. And even beyond that, the boy started to excel even in class, beyond the art and the sketching. He was able to start doing well in class because now a teacher who understood what it takes to teach students for them to understand individually was able to come into the picture and helped the little boy to overcome his learning disabilities. So the thing is that one thing you can learn from like Stars on Earth, for example, if whether you're a teacher or not, or whether you are a parent or not, is that every child has their own abilities. So we must help every child to find their abilities even at a young age. And never say your child is useless, or never say a child is useless just because they are unable to excel in class. Classroom exam is not the only way to grade a child's genius. So be careful about that, and that's what we learn from like Stars on Earth. The next movie is Hidden Figures. Hidden Figures, and the main character was played by Taraji P. Henson. I love that movie so much. You realize that Taraji was working at NASA with her two other friends, and they were all doing well, but because they were black women, they were not given the opportunity to excel or to lead in the organization. But then through Taraji P. Henson's attention to details and her love for all this calculation and math stuff, she was able to come up with a calculation that was helpful in moving in helping the engineers to come up with a rocket that was supposed to go into space. And actually it was actually based on a real life story. So it was a real black woman who helped NASA with her calculations to put the first man on the moon. So indeed, the movie teaches us that look, blacks are not inferior to the whites. We are not. And beyond that, women are not inferior to men. Women are not inferior to men. Let's give women the same opportunities we give to the men. Let's give blacks the same opportunities to give to the whites. There are so many black people who are doing amazing stuff, but just because they find themselves to be black, they are not being celebrated. They're not given the opportunity to do better, and they are celebrating the whites and giving the whites all the chance when blacks are really doing well. So if you watch this movie, you will learn that look, you are black, but you are not disadvantaged. Your color doesn't make you disadvantaged. It's rather an advantage. So go out there and pursue everything you want to pursue. And it also teaches you that if you are a lady or if you are a woman, you are not second option. You are not substandard to men. You can equally pursue your dreams, your talents, your ideas, and become a phenomenon or a celebrated person in this world. The next movie is Pursuit of Happiness. Pursuit of Happiness, a movie by Will Smith that was played by he himself, and his son that was played by Jaden Smith. And you realize that in the Pursuit of Happiness, I love the movie a lot because it teaches us that look, when you are pursuing happiness, things may not go well, but continue on the grind, continue going, continue pushing through. One day the things that are not working now will work out later. Pursuit of Happiness. You realize how Will Smith went through so many struggles, so many challenges. His wife actually left him. He was sleeping at the Broadway. He was sleeping in trains. He and his son went through a whole lot of stuff. He was selling a machine that was really archaic, but he thought it was a new thing in town. And before he realized, Charlie, he couldn't even sell it anymore. But through it all, he kept pushing. And one time, when he had the opportunity to go and intern at a stock brokerage firm, and that was the beginning or the turnaround point for Will Smith. And when finally he got the job to be part of the partners at the stock brokerage firm, you realize the excitement, the fulfillment that comes from pursuing happiness for so long, pursuing your dreams for so long, and finally having that breakthrough. So that is Pursuit of Happiness. You have to watch that movie. And if you watch and didn't learn anything, go back and watch it because you're going to learn a lot this time around. The next movie, it's a series, and it's Empire. Empire, I can say so far, has been one of my most favorite series so far. I love the series so far. Even though the very final season 6 that came before the whole thing ended, I haven't watched it. I didn't watch it was because one of my favorite characters in the whole thing had been dropped because of a whole dispute, misunderstanding. That's Justice Smollett. something happened in the US, blah blah, this whole gay thing. And I think that he was the main character no, wasn't the main character, but his voice was like the main voice behind all the theme songs in almost all the episodes or all the seasons. So to take such a person out, such a phenomenal character out of the whole series was not really the best. But I'm not part of the production team, so they did it, and that is what made me not to watch the very final season. But then Empire is an epic, phenomenal series. You realize Lucius Lyon and his children, Andre Lyon, Jamal Lyon, and then Hakeem Lyon, and the wife Cookie Lyon. These are all characters who played their roles so well. And you realize that Empire teaches us about how to grow family businesses, how this family leader, who is Lucius Lyon, and his wife Cookie Lyon, started their own music label several years back. Cookie had to go into prison because she didn't want to snitch on Lucius. While she was in prison, Lucius built Empire to be a very big brand, and then he took care of their kids, their 3 kids. Now when Cookie came back, she wanted to come back for her share in the company, and Lucius didn't want to give her part of the company. The whole tussle and the whole thing that happened in Empire was so beautiful, and I believe that Empire really taught me a lot about how to relate with people, how to run family business, how to relate with people in the company. And so definitely, I don't know, I'm sure you can still get to watch Empire online. So if you haven't watched it yet, it ended in 2019, but you can still go find it and watch. The next series, or the next movie, is also a series. It's Prison Break. Prison Break, where we have Michael Scofield. Michael Scofield's attention to details, how he was able to, tattoo his whole body with a map of a prison, where he was able to enter into the prison because of the map he had on his body. Studied it so well, and was able to go out there and rescue his brother and other people out of the prison. They were able to break out of a prison because of his attention for details, and how he was able to have planned for everything, how he wanted everything to go out. Even when things were not going well, he had other options to make sure that the goal was met. Prison Break, with the main character Michael Scofield, is a very wonderful series. If you don't watch, please go and watch, because there's a whole lot you can learn from it. In your own life, in your own business, in your own career, you need to learn to pay attention to details. The details that can help you to move forward in life, in your business, in your finances, in your career, in your relationship, in your marriage. You need to learn how to pay attention to those details. Pay attention to the details in every area of your life. The final movie is Hacksaw Ridge. Hacksaw Ridge, and the main character, who is Private Desmond Doss. I love that movie a lot. You realize that guy was, the movie is an action-based movie, but it also has an element of faith, where this guy called Desmond Doss vowed not to ever kill anyone in life, because when he was a child, he had a moment with his brother where he nearly killed his brother because of a fight they were having. And from that day, he vowed never to kill anyone, not to hurt anyone. And so even though he wanted to be of help to people, and he found himself in the military, he was going there because he wanted to be a medic, not to be an officer who was going to kill the enemy. He was there because he says that in a war, so many lives are being taken already. So he wants to be that person who comes into the war and tries to at least salvage the damage a bit by saving a few lives from the war. And he went in there. Initially, he met so much resistance, they nearly threw him out, but his father came to help him out. And then he was able to stay in the military, went to war, and because of him, so many people who could have died were saved by him, he alone. Overnight, when people had, the military, his people had left the war zone, he was still up there on the mountain, still rescuing people who would have died. But he rescued them because he believed in his faith. He moved with faith and was able to go there and save people. Hacksaw Ridge, if you haven't watched, look for it and watch. It's an old movie. I think it was from 2010 thereabout. It's not a recent movie, so if you go online, you can find it somewhere and watch. I have it. If you want it, see me and I'll give it to you. The final movie is Mulan. Mulan. I love Mulan so much. Mulan. I think just yesterday I watched I watched it again. I love the movie so much. It's about a young lady who was born with a chi, who had that knack to be a warrior. But because she's a lady, she has to, bury her chi, or bury her skills and the talent and just go and be a submissive wife to to a man. But then she challenged herself. She was able to steal her father's sword, her father's horse, and went to camp when they needed men from every family. And then the father didn't have any man because there were two sisters. She went in there, disguised herself as a man, went through all the training, and then at the right time, when they realized that she was a woman, she was the one who led the army to be able to overcome or defeat the enemy. So these seven movies plus the bonus I've given you are movies that when you watch, you will learn so much from. So I know you love watching movies. Don't just be interested in watching just any movie at all. It shouldn't be just any movie just because there's romance in it. They'll be kissing, they'll be having all those sex scenes, or they'll be shooting, and there's lots of bishak, all that. It's nice, but look for a way to also watch movies that you can learn from and help your life progress. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Street Sense with me, Maxwell Mensah. If you are yet to subscribe, kindly subscribe now, and I will see you on the next episode.